Good morning, and look at that right off the bat. Hurley is a new YouTube member. I can't see, well, I've got my glasses on. I think I need a magnifying glass to see who's been around longer than others. It doesn't matter either way, we're still friends. This case makes me want to, I'm going back to Wayne's World. Makes me want to hurl. Okay? Now then, Jen Soto has spent the last year and a half almost in and out of inpatient facilities for her depression, her anxiety. I'm going to go ahead and put also known as her guilt. I would prefer her be in jail. Okay? She can get all the help she needs in the jail. All the help. I know a few people did not like what I was saying yesterday about Travis Decker. It got really heated around here when I was just saying, because somebody has got something wrong with them does not mean they get to abuse other people. Doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Some people got highly offended. Couldn't even answer simple questions like, so how do you make adults comply? So what would you do if it's your children? What would you do? Jen Soto doesn't have any empathy for any part of this situation except for herself. And that's the truth. There's no way she didn't know what's going on. There is no friggin' way. That's the reason I love that channel, Police Off the Cuff. Because everyone, well, except for a couple of us, kind of skates around the issue going, well, maybe she didn't know. Maybe she just didn't know. Maybe she's just so depressed. Maybe she felt so bad about her weight, and that's the reason she needed all the Botox, and she's a victim too. She's a victim too. Like that goofy ass Gray Hughes that says all the time, oh, she's a victim too. Oh, she's a victim too. Put a 1 in chat if you think Jen Soto is a victim. Put a 2 in chat if you say the only victim is Madeline Soto. All right, let's go ahead and tell everyone good morning and get to it because there's a lot legally going on. Anita said she's a victim of stupidity. Is she a victim of stupidity or a victim of perversion? Was she in on it or not? I won't think for a second if this law enforcement crew, particularly the detectives, had any ounce of evidence, they would lock her up. They would. Now, what happens after lockup? That's between the attorneys and the judge. Homeland Security is still very involved in this case. Why? Well, because of many, many, many images of Madeline Soto. Ooh, Sophia did a mic drop. She loved the money versus Maddie. Mic drop. Ooh, Sophia. Sophia. Oh my gosh. Well, let's get to how I think that we know that she knew something was going on. And that's Jen Soto. And then, of course, we've got plenty of time for Stefan.
I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child and the child turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him like that was my biggest fear and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
why would you say that to him?
Because I never trusted. I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man.
In her body. What a weirdo. What a weirdo. Okay, so we've been on pins and needles, wondering what the judge was going to do with the phone evidence. And we know what's on the phone, okay? All right? We know what's on the phone. Stephen Stearns makes Jeffrey Epstein look like a damn Boy Scout. All right? True story. I still cannot believe that they haven't found other victims. Now, let's go through this first because the judge has said, hail to the yeah, we're going to put all the phone evidence in. Found a very interesting article out of the great state of Florida that it said it took the judge and his crew, his clerks, etc., so long to decide. Think about this. Because they had to go through every video, every picture, every bit of it. Now, I don't know about you, but it's a little tough to do your job when you have to look at such disgusting, and I don't mean Madeline's disgusting, disgusting images. Okay, so now the trial has been delayed. Court TV and other people are saying maybe there's a deal in the works. The state of Florida normally does not work that way. Normally does not work that way. So when the defense, paid for by the state of Florida, said, oh no, we want all that thrown out, they had to spend all that time going through frame after frame after frame after frame, video. And it's only delayed a little bit. It's not the end of the world. It could be, well, we'll get to that in a second.
Stearns is not present, and it was my understanding that the defense was not requesting his appearance today, and his appearance with us was waived. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. All right. It's unusual that the court doesn't defer to a joint motion to continue. Under this case, I'm a little, I need some additional information as to the grounds. Opposed to the following.
So he wants to know why they can't agree. That's what I'm getting from this. It's very odd that the court can't decide. Remember, the court is not detectives. The court is not the lock it up police officers. So what's really going on here?
I understand that, number one, this is that the assistant state attorneys are in high demand, and unfortunately they have a lot of cases that are pending. I also am mindful of the fact that the orders on the motion to suppress came out close in time to the pretrial. I'll note that it's be about 3 full weeks until we selected a jury on this case. Based on those factors, the motion to continue, is going to be denied. I will make concessions to when the trial will begin. I think I'd like to begin jury selection on July 22nd. Potential opening statements would, depending on jury selection, be on the 25th with either the presentation of evidence in an order is.
Okay, maybe True Crime Beat knows because I don't. Okay, the motion to suppress evidence, bingo, done, out the door, flushed down the toilet, done with it, done. The judge has gone through it. Done with it. But since it took the judge and his clerks and other people so long to go through every sickening picture, and we know there is a lot, now they have to prepare a new defense. Let me ask you all, what could the defense be? Please tell me, what on earth could they find in their war chest to bring into court to defend this? Well, good morning, Kat. How did I miss you? Hey, Kat. Oh, gee. I apologize.
That accommodates unavailability of witnesses beginning that Friday or on Monday, July 28th.
Okay, that's the judge from the Stephen Stearns trials. The first one is now delayed. Stephen Stearns, you may recall, accused of sexually assaulting, memorializing the sexual assaults of a little girl named Madeline Soto for years on his account and ultimately on his phone, then charged with her murder after she went missing and her body was found 20 miles from the home. So he's facing two cases, the sexual assault for everything that was found on his phone that he memorialized in the first trial.
Okay. Everything he memorialized, because he kept trophies of digital trophies of what he was doing to Madeline while her mother was sleeping or walking dogs or just didn't want to be bothered, according to her. Sick AF. Okay? It really is sick. Goodness. All right. There is absolutely zero defense in the SA case. Okay? Now I'm asking you guys, I'm asking what you think. Does he have a defense for the murder charges? We haven't heard a lot about the murder trial coming up. And we already know that Stephen has hinted here and there that possibly it wasn't him. Either way, this is one case that damn sure deserves the death penalty. Because when people say, oh, life in prison should be good enough. Oh, okay. So they get to go to the law library. They get their sliver of soap and they go to the shower. They get to play basketball in the yard. We know he gets a lot of commissary. We know that. He gets a lot of commissary from his parents. He's got a TV. He has a radio. He has books. I mean, to this nutbag, that's not that bad of a life. But death is death. Death is death. And I really hope, OJ, are you okay over there? I really hope that the state of Florida holds to their guns and says, yeah, nah, we're just going to keep going until the jury finds you guilty and you get the death penalty. Yeah, ignore OJ. He's in a real bad mood today. He has cat behavioral therapy coming up, and he's not happy about it.
With a life sentence at the end of that. Then following that, a murder trial, which is followed by a potential death sentence. Okay? That's what he's facing. So he had filed a motion to suppress all the evidence from the cell phone. It was denied. And once it was denied, then the prosecution and defense together were asking for a continuance of that first trial. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? Why all of a sudden do we want to delay? What's going on? Now, the defense knows they have no defense. It's over, right? The only defense was not getting this information in front of the jury. It's getting in front of the jury all the pictures of the defendant and the little girl. Is he working on a deal?
Damn, Vinny sounds like a Baptist preacher. Look at him. Everything on the phone. Everything on the phone. Criminal Med said, I didn't realize he was a DP case. Oh, yeah, it's Florida, girl. It's Florida. It's Florida. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Death penalty is definitely on the table. Look at old Vinny getting all Baptist on us. Look at his ugh face. It's a good question, though. Are they behind the scenes trying to say, hey, look, we have everything on the phone. It's going to be allowed in court. Do you want to go to trial and try to defend yourself to this? Or do you want to go ahead and plead guilty to this? For this one, we'll take DP off the table, okay? We'll take it off the table for this one. And then you can go to trial because what we really want to kill you for is you killing Madeline. I am not going to be surprised if they do not offer him a deal for life, and God only knows what it's going to be. It could be 10 years per picture, the way Florida does it. The truth is, he refused to go to court last week. He refused to go. You can't tell me that his parents wouldn't say, yeah, just go ahead and plead guilty. You do not want to sit there and people have to look at these pictures. You don't want them to. And then the next trial, which is probably going to be in 2026, well, then you're going to have to fight a little bit because for that one, they're going to kill you. He handed him everything.
Is the state attorney working on a deal with Stephen Stearns? Is that possible? We're going to have another one of these where we use the death penalty as a negotiating tool rather than as a punishment. Let's bring back in our think tank. Al Wunsch III is with us, Jennifer Brandt and Darnell Crosslin. Do you smell something funny going on here, Jennifer?
I certainly do, Vinny. I think they're definitely working on a deal because, like you said, he has no defense now. The pictures are out there. We know what he did. It's on his phone. It's memorialized. So what is he going to say? Someone else put them there. They're fake. I mean, there's not much he can say. So, maybe they're working on a deal overall to try to
wrap it all up, right? Wrap up the murder
exactly.
and the years and years and years of sexual assault of this little girl.
Just like we saw in Idaho. I mean, I don't think it's much different. We just saw this happen. It's probably they're taking one out of that playbook and
Okay, she's ignorant AF. She is ignorant AF. Okay, Florida doesn't play like Idaho does. Idaho has had a lot of other issues going on with other trials. True story. They kept screwing around, probably for the media and the publicity and the views and the ratings they were getting with Lori Vallow. Okay? Chad Daybell would have taken a plea deal to avoid the death penalty at any time. They already know that Lori is crazy, crazy. Okay, so don't compare Idaho to Florida. I don't like that. That's like comparing Oklahoma to fucking Maine. Okay? Cat OG, what you doing putting money in here? Would they take D-Pen off the table if he turned informant on a ring he might have been a part of? Oh, DP? Oh yeah. That's up to Homeland Security. That's more of a federal thing. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Connie Branch. I'll tell you what, I'm blushing over here. What's everyone doing? Being so generous today to your old buddy Brooks and your favorite channel. Your favorite channel by far. We have no idea what they're going to do. But remember, we have 50 states. Okay? When, let's just say, a picture of Madeline, which would be easy to do, cross state lines, you have more of a federal problem. Hence why Homeland Security is involved. Okay? And so they could be saying, I need to know who this girl is, this girl is, this girl is, this girl is. I need to know who all these people are because, well, they're on the Lexus system and they have burner phones.
trying to work out a deal for him.
Yeah, I mean, both sides here, Al, were asking for this continuance. You know, it wasn't just the defense, both sides. Usually that, you know, this date has been set. The judge did not give the full continuance. He only gave a week. What are your thoughts about what's going on here? Is it really just time to prepare for this trial?
It's definitely they're coming up with some sort of a universal settlement to this matter. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that that's what they're doing. If they were not doing that, the prosecution would not be consenting or making a joint application for the extension. Obviously, they don't have a problem putting forward their case in the sexual assault aspect of this. With the phone coming in, I mean, the case is solid. But the question is on the next aspect, the murder case, whether or not, you know, there may be some cause for pause that they may be having, that they're saying, you know what, we can wrap this whole thing up. We can get a guilty.
Okay, I'm going to pause, old boy, there. You only have one life, okay? We're not all like OJ and Chip and Tigger, okay? We don't have 9 lives. So they're not going to ask for death penalty for, the way I'm saying it's horrible, the pictures on the phone and the videos. They want the death penalty for the murder trial. I really hope they give that ISIS-looking motherfucker, they say, go ahead and plead guilty. If not, we'll go ahead and put the death penalty on for this. And it's a slam dunk, dude. Because in the state of Florida, doing what he did to Maddie, murder aside, is a death penalty conviction. Well, I know who's not getting death penalty around here, and that's Pat Kay. Because look at her. She's making it rain. Okay, did that make sense at all? To say, listen, we can't make you die twice. We can't torture you. So why don't you go ahead and plead guilty to this, so that way your parents don't have to come in and see what you did to this little girl. If not, we'll go ahead and ask for the DP for this. It's really a good bargaining chip to say, do you really want the whole world seeing what you did to her? Do you really want us to show everyone videos? Let's look at this real quick, okay?
Go back inside. Me? I don't care if it's the love of my life sitting next to me. I don't care if it's maternal grandma. If the police come and take my mom's phone and my son's disappearance, I'm not going to offer my mom a lawyer. That's nuts to me. That to me shows you prioritizing Steph. Because at that point, you became more worried about him being falsely accused than anyone. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Whether or not that's what you felt, does that make sense? People having lawyers is their constitutional right. That is a thing that everybody is afforded. But for somebody who's going through what you were going through, to offer him a lawyer leads me to believe that there may have been a conversation, there may have been knowledge, or there may have been some inclination that you had, whether it be his involvement, her location, or something to where in your mind, there's guilt.
I promise you, like...
Because you offering him a lawyer is very weird.
I know. That was still me under the assumption that... I think at one point you guys interviewed me, and when you guys showed me the picture of her, I believed the sexual stuff, but I didn't want to believe that he had done anything evil to her. I'm like, I believed the sexual stuff, but I didn't want to believe that he had done anything evil to her. I'm like, no, what if he did this stuff fine, but what if she's still missing out there? What if somebody took her? I still wanted to believe I believed him. I believed his whole story. So I was just like, I kept repeating that part. I'm just like, what if she did get dropped off? What if she got abducted? What if she's missing? But that was me assuming that you guys had the wrong guy. I wanted to think he was a good guy still, but clearly he's not. After everything you guys have told me and have shown me, I know he's the worst person on this face of the earth.
We know that now. We know he's a piece of shit now.
You know?
But you didn't know that then.
I didn't.
Then you offered a guy who the police suspected of kidnapping, abducting, assisting the disappearance. Offered him a lawyer. And then we don't have to roundtable that. You went back to what you just said is the sex stuff is fine.
Sick. Okay, what little bit they showed Jen Soda, which didn't seem to move her too far, okay, didn't seem to really move her. She didn't think the sex stuff was evil. Well, the jury is definitely going to find it evil. 100%. They are. They have all the cards are with the state of Florida. That's the truth. They have all of them. They have all the forensic evidence. They're not scared to play. They have an unlimited budget because that's how they do in Florida. No one's going to limit your budget there. She said, well, I just didn't want to believe he was evil. I understand the sex stuff. Well, you understand the sex stuff because you were okay with it. You nasty, nasty thing. You're really nasty. Now, let me ask you guys this. Would it bother you if the state says, go ahead, we'll just let you plead out guilty on this, okay? Or do you want this to go to trial and see all the pictures and the videos And my understanding is there's a lot. Google Drives, phones he forgot about, the phone that he accidentally factory reset. He will get the death penalty. Okay? You can go ahead and write that down. Today is July 10th, 2025. I'm saying when he goes to trial for murder, he will get the death penalty. Me, being a little selfish here, I would rather the prosecution have more time to prepare for the murder because we already know about what he did to her prior to.
Problem putting forward their case in the sexual assault aspect of this with the phone coming in. I mean, the case is solid, but the question is on the next aspect, the murder case, whether or not, there may be some cause for pause that they may be having, that they're saying, you know what, we can wrap this whole thing up. We can get a guilty plea in both, and then we can move on. So I think that may be the situation in this instance.
Darnell, the first charges are a life sentence. I don't know what his defense is. Like, they're going to take the images from his phone and let the jury look at them, and it's a little girl being sexually assaulted, both in still images and videos, and it's his phone, it's his genitalia, and it's a little girl, and it's over the course of years. Life sentence. If he gets an offer of a life sentence or 2 consecutive life sentences.
Yeah, we're not talking about a dick pic he sent to Jen as if he would. We're talking about pictures of his, how to say it on YouTube, his little soldier, and I'm going to say tiny little toothpick soldier, areas around little Madeline Soto that should have never been there. Okay? Orifices. Okay? All right? His little tiny toothpick toy soldier in her, where you eat food, where you menstruate, where you poo-poo, you're not going to at all find any jury anywhere that's going to say you're innocent. Okay? Nothing. And I think he's going to shit his pants, and I actually hope he does, and say, no, I'm going to go ahead and plead guilty to this, because he doesn't want these pictures out. And they will be. They will be public for everyone to see. Now, mind you, what we see when they put them out, of course, they're going to be fuzzed out in different places. Look, we got the gist. We got the gist.
It's his genitalia, and it's a little girl, and it's over the course of years. Life sentence. If he gets an offer of a life sentence or 2 consecutive life sentences, I don't know how he could turn it down. Because at the other end is the death sentence. Do you think there is a potential deal at work here?
Well, there's always a potential deal at work. The prosecutions,
not if you have a prosecutor who believes in using the death penalty for punishment rather than for a tool.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So a lot of these prosecutors, we've covered this on these shows where the prosecutors will start to negotiate and not man up and take it straight to the gate, as they say. In this particular case, first of all, let's not get confused with a motion to suppress to say that because that was denied, that means everything is coming in. Because you know, as lawyers, and you know, as a prosecutor, you have to be able to move evidence in, and that takes some skill in how you move it in, when you move it in. So just because the judge didn't suppress it doesn't mean it's going to be moved in, right? And so when the judge says, "Listen, it's unusual to deny a joint application for continuance," he said that. He said, "But I'm going to do it, and I'll give you some trial concessions later." He's saying that I don't like what's happening here either. We're going to move this thing either to a settlement.
Okay, Kat is right. They cannot publicly put out these pictures. But unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, our courtrooms here are open to the public. And so, unfortunately for Madeline, the pictures will be on display. Okay? They will be. Now, here's the reason. Kat's already read my mind. I would prefer him to go ahead and just plead guilty for this because there's no getting out of it. It's a waste of time and it's a waste of money. However, you're going to have some dirt bags on the internet. They're going to say, "Oh, I unscrambled the pictures and you can see right here what was happening to Maddie. Oh, you can see in this video. You can." I don't want that to happen. I just don't. And if the state of Florida has to do it, then they're going to have to do it. She deserves much more respect than he's willing to give her. Okay? Much more. I do not want to see this little girl violated. I certainly do not want to see him. I don't want to see people like Zav Girl and a few others do some unscrambling shit and put it into their Patreon and say, "Well, you can see right here, this is for educational purposes. You can see right here what happened." Fuck wrong with you. Fuck wrong with you. We saw it happen to Kylie Rodney. We saw it happen to Gannon Stout. Even little baby Evelyn Boswell. There is nothing educational about that. There is nothing educational. We don't even have to use our imagination for things like that. Okay? So I really hope they are saying, "Look, I'm just gonna throw out a number, okay? Because I don't know exactly how many images there are. Okay, so don't hold me to this number. I'm just gonna say, hey, Mr. Disney, hey, ISIS looking motherfucker. So we have like 1,000 images that can only be you because it's your face. It's your little toy soldier. It's your little toothpick. This is obviously Maddie. We've combed you from head to toe, so we know it's her besides the pictures. Don't come to me with that AI shit. It could be AI. It could be AI. Believe it or not, there are people saying that. There are people saying that. So either you want the whole world to see what you did to her, or you can go ahead and just sign right here on the dotted line. I got a notary. Here's your state-appointed lawyer. Unless you would like to sit there with your parents, your brother that hates your ass, you know Jen Soto won't show up. You know she's not showing up. But everyone is going to see what you were up to before she was murdered. The only reasonable doubt case that we have in the case of Madeline Soto is the murder, because we don't know what they know.
Or we're going to try this case, but I'm not going to have you guys cozying up and doing some things that I don't support. So that's what I got from that. Now, in terms of whether in fact there's negotiation here. The death penalty is the ultimate. And a lot of people politically don't like it. Al doesn't like it. So if they can say, hey, you're going to die or you're going to take life in jail, it is a a negotiating tool. And so if they can do a global dispo for the murder and that, one life is one life. These pleas where you have or sentences where you have 10 lives just don't make any sense. You only get one. So a natural life is, if he gets that, that's it. Not the 40 or 60-year life that some state has.
No, this is real. You do
over.
the time in Florida. Florida, unlike other states, you do the time. You get the sentence, you're going to do the time. Al, you were scowling, I believe.
No, it's scowling only because this aspect of it, I mean, it is a tool, and it is a tool that should be used effectively. And if you can guarantee that there's going to be no appeals and nothing else down the line, then they've got this man locked up forever. And he's gone, and he's done, okay? It is a worse situation to be sitting in that prison than even a death penalty in some instances, especially when you have that kind of crime against a small child. He's going to be very popular in general population.
Yeah.
So under the circumstances, you know what? If I was him, I'd be asking for the death penalty rather than living what he's going to be living for the rest of his life.
Jennifer Brandt, I got to give you the last 10 seconds.
Thanks, Vinny. I don't agree with Al there. I mean, the death penalty is death, and this little girl is never coming back. So, I mean, he can go to prison, and there are people that manage very well, it appears, in prison.
I agree with her. There are some people that live happy and high on the hog in prison. Makes no sense to me. Makes no sense to you all. But people walk out of prison every day. They do. Some go back several more times. It's not like it really bothers some people. Now, it's safe to say in the state of Florida that he wouldn't be walking out. Okay? He's not going to have any kind of plea agreement. Boy Mama said, I'm just curious if they need the pics to help with the murder conviction. Remember, Boy Mama, there's two different trials. There's one for the essay and there's one for the murder. They've separated them for a reason. So once they have the conviction, okay, for the essay, and they will get it one way or another, then it's going to be evidence for the murder trial saying, well, we already have a conviction for this. So we don't have to continue to show people these pictures. My understanding is the videos and the pictures are extremely disturbing. That's the reason they separated the cases. If not, you're probably looking at a year-long trial, okay? And I was very confused as to what was the holdup was for the judge to allow the phone evidence. Well, now we know. Because he had to go through every damn one of them.
Accused of murdering Maddie Soto was being pushed back by a week, but the judge is allowing key evidence found on Stephen Stern's cell phone in the child sex abuse case. Fox 35's Randy Hildreth is joining us live from the Osceola County Courthouse. Randy, Stearns was not in court today.
Yeah, good evening to you, Marlisa. He waived his appearance today, but as
okay, now listen to that. Last week, he waived his right to be in court. Now listen. A lot of people that are sitting in the jail cell, they are more than happy to get out of their jail cell. They have extra time. They get a ride in the car. They get to see the sky. They get to see the palm trees in Florida. He waived his right. He did not want to go. Why do you think he didn't want to go? I'm going to put the link up for anyone to talk to me about this. Why do you think he didn't want to go to his own hearing. Did he not want to be confronted by what he did? Is he a coward? Well, I mean, what could it be? Everybody already knows.
As you mentioned, the judge only pushed the trial start date back slightly, so both sides will have to be ready come next month.
The court would deny their cogent and vigorously argued motion to suppress.
A win for the state. Back in April, Stern's legal team asked a judge to dismiss phone and video evidence ahead of the trial. They argued it was obtained without a warrant, and Stearns testified he was coerced into handing over his phone.
And what was your understanding, if any, as to what they were going to do with it?
They were just going to check my Google Maps and check to see if I was logged into Google, and that was it. That was all I agreed to.
Were you shown, or did they have a warrant?
They did not.
Law enforcement say they initially took his phone as part of their search for 13-year-old Maddie Soto. Detectives say once unlocked, they found pictures and videos of Stearns allegedly sexually abusing the teen. The state argued detectives were right to take Stearns' phone and go through it because
he offered the phone and then he wanted it back. How can it be allegedly when you have the pictures? I get so tired of that word allegedly. I get it. Legal terms. Well, allegedly, that's his cock because we had our bailiff look and he's got the same freckle as the one in the pictures. Allegedly, that's Maddie because we combed out his pubic hairs and found her DNA in there. Just say it. For the love of God.
They thought he was trying to get rid of evidence. Stearns told investigators he'd accidentally factory reset his phone, which prompted suspicion. Judge Keith Carson alerted both sides Wednesday he's denying that motion. The alleged evidence found on the phone can be used during the trial. The judge also denied a joint motion filed by state prosecutors and the defense to push back the case again.
The motion to continue, is going to be denied. I will make concessions.
Both sides said they hoped to get more time to prep since they were waiting for a ruling on evidence. And just to clarify, the trial not starting next month, it will start this month. Originally, it was set to start July 15th. The judge said today that pushing it back slightly to start July 22nd, he hopes that opening statements start by July 25th. I'll send it back to you live tonight. Rady Hildreth, Fox 35 News.
I hope they don't start it on the 25th because that means that the jury has a weekend to think about the opening statements. It'd be better for them to start it on the 28th. I agree with the judge on that. Has anybody here ever been on a jury? Anybody? 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 It's a lot of information just from what trials I have watched. And I wouldn't be surprised if Stefan's parents are not pushing for him to take whatever they offer. And whatever they offer is not going to be light. Okay? He's not going to live to be as old as Moses. Now, some people are saying that, well, what's the point in having the murder trial if he's going to get all these life sentences for the SA? Well, it's called justice. Okay, it's called justice. You really think they're not going to go forward and fully prosecute the murder of a little girl? That makes no sense. The only reasonable doubt I can see is going to be for the murder trial. And that's another reason that I just hope that he pleads guilty to the essay, and we know the real term for it. And they have more time to prepare for the murder. Okay?
Police today shed more light on Stephen Stearns, the man accused of sexual battery on a child and for the murder of 13-year-old Madeline Soto.
Those documents include several back and forth conversations between Stearns and presumably his family. Well, she's Luana Munoz is live in studio tonight. And Luana, you've been pouring through these conversations. What exactly do they entail?
You know, Summer, Stephen Stearns goes back and forth again with his mother and who we believe might be his father, Chris Stearns. Stephen Stearns seems to believe that there's still some hope for his case, while his mother makes reference to others possibly being involved. One day after Stephen Stearns' trial was delayed, the state attorney's office released this 64-page document of email correspondence between Stearns and who appears to be his parents. The conversation starts off with Stearns complaining about life in isolation, saying, quote, "It's not exactly the Ritz, it's a small cell and the pot is quite noisy. The mat is flat and has very little cushion left. The cell is small, filthy, and has some spots on the wall that appear to be bloody fingerprints." He later complains of his coffee supply running low and continues to ask for a book. It's an odd conversation for the 38-year-old accused of 60 counts of sexual battery of a child and for the murder of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. Detectives say Stearns is seen on surveillance video driving around with Soto's dead body in his car before allegedly dumping her in a rural field in February. In an email dated June 25th, Stearns tells his family, quote, "There's still perhaps a slim hope for my situation." He goes on to say, "I maintain hope that I might be able to come home once this whole nasty business has reached its end, and ask that you both remain hopeful as well and continue to pray for me to be delivered home again." A redacted email.
Yeah, those prayers don't work there, Mr. Disney. Those prayers don't work. Okay? Noisy, uncomfortable, coffee, candy, waiting on books, one thing after another. Listen, get comfy. Get comfy. Because you're never going to see outside of jailhouse walls. Okay? Not going to happen. And the only way for God to listen to you is for you to repent and tell the truth. That's it. Death for you, big boy, should be the easiest thing as opposed to what you did to Madeline. In quotes, allegedly.
Email is then sent back to Stearns, signed Mom, that alludes to some accusations. She says, "We all know Redacted was heavily involved in this, and I'm disgusted that she's free and you're not, when this is not all your fault. You need to think about yourself more and her less. She sure isn't thinking about you and how she can help you right now. That whole family is willing to stay quiet and let you take the fall for everything." She goes on to say, quote, "I think of the craziness Redacted lived through with Redacted's various partners, not a stable life for a child at all. I do pray for Redacted and you daily." Well, Stearns' trial was expected to start next week, but just yesterday, his attorney asked that that be pushed back. His new trial date is now scheduled for October 14th.
Ooh, boy. Okay. Obviously, he's got very enabling parents. Very enabling parents. I can't speak so much about his father, but his mother, you need to think more about yourself and less about Jen. Maybe he's thinking more about Jen because he's really worried that she's going to actually start telling the truth to the investigators. I mean, like this.
I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child and the child turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him like that was my biggest fear and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
why would you say that to him?
Because I never trusted. I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man.
Yep. All right. Very, very, very early this morning. I had a hard time sleeping. A lot of people didn't have a good time sleeping. I think it might be the full moon, or the full moon's tonight, or was it last night? I don't know. So they saw the Madeline Soto show is coming up. Laverne said, when is the trial? Jury selection starts on the 22nd and probably the next week. All right, sent this to me. I have not had time to go through it, and so we're going to go through it together. This has to do with Madeline, if she was pregnant or not.
Looking for Maddie.
Okay.
Madeline Soto. Daddy, are you here? Can you help me find Madeline? Daddy, I miss you. I'm going to give this. Stefan? Did you say Stefan? I'm sorry for what, Stefan? You know.
Hold on. What the fuck is this? Oh, fuck me. Oh, shit. God damn it. All right. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Damn it. Damn it. Anybody want a music break while I calm down from that? Son of a bitch. God damn it. I don't know who the hell did that to me, but I'm going to find him. I'm going to send that to Kat. I'm going to send that to Kat because Kat's running customer service today. Son of a bitch. All right, let's do a music break so I can get over that because I don't want to keep saying the GD word because it's not appropriate. God had nothing to do with it. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Damn, that shit pisses me off. God, I can't believe that shit happened to me. Okay, for those that missed it, tell you what, it's action-packed around here. Goodness. I saved something to the playlist for today, and it started going on, and I'm like, oh, this will be good. This is, someone else's opinion. What happened? What do you mean, what happened? Y'all are stressing me out. What's going on? Lisa Wilson said, oh, no, what happened? No, we're live. We're live. We're live. No, I didn't know it was a spirit box. I didn't know. Okay, I did not know that's what that was. I thought it was good, thumbnail and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, talk about, Rexy said, Brooks, you trying to make all of us crazy? I think someone made me crazy today. Goodness. I just cannot believe that. My goodness. All right, so let's get to what Stefan actually had to say. Okay, please.
Child. And at this point, I start to panic and freak out because that can't be the case. She was dropped off. I remember him saying, should I have asked a warrant? And I'm like, no, you got nothing to hide. Give him your phone. If you were to go demand your phone back right now, that would look suspicious. Like, what are you doing?
I feel like sometimes people struggle to show real emotion when they're aware of what the truth is.
If I knew anything, I promise you, I would tell you. Like, I am willing to take a lie detector test, whatever the you want, but I don't know anything.
On February 25th, 2024, in Kissimmee, Florida, Madeline Soto celebrated her 13th birthday party with family and friends. The joyous occasion was quickly overshadowed by fear and panic just one day later, when her mother arrived to pick her up from school only to learn Madeline never made it to class. Police and investigators launch a massive search.
No fear and panic. None. You know why? Because I think Jen Soto knew. Remember, I said, I think. I need to think a lot more. Because when someone sends something and say, I see you're doing a show about Madeline Soto, you have to play this. And I don't have my glasses on. And I've got my cat's ass up on my left shoulder and he's sleeping across my chest at 2 in the morning. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll put that in there. That'll be interesting. And then I'm like, what the hell is that? Dad, can you help me find Madeline? I'm like, what? What are they talking about? I don't do that. I just don't. Jesus Christ.
Saw on the surveillance footage with Madeline's aunt.
It's blurry video, but it looks like a child sitting right there. And I don't see her getting into anybody's car in the video. I see her sitting on property for give or take 10 minutes and then walking off property. I don't know which way she went from there. Get more video.
Show the bridge or anything?
No. Speculating that Madeline may have wandered away on her own, the officer asks if there's anywhere she may have gone that she wouldn't want her mother to know about.
I have no idea. We checked your phone. I didn't see any
Crazy stuff. But yeah, me neither. Yeah.
I didn't see her trying to plan anything with anyone. And I just really don't think she's the type to do it.
Just walk up and leave.
I don't see her doing that at all.
The mystery of Madeline's disappearance eludes law enforcement as a challenging night of searching meets a disappointing end. Despite their exhaustive efforts, the haunting question of where Madeline has gone and why leaves everyone grasping for answers. The following day, on February 27th, officers begin canvassing local neighborhoods, and the family makes multiple appearances and television interviews. As news about Madeline's disappearance spreads, some residents begin feeling the emotional impact.
Oh, is this about that little girl?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've been crying all day long.
Yeah, she's been missing since 8:30 a.m.
Why aren't there any updates? I'm looking everywhere for anybody. I kept saying to myself, I said, I'm hoping she skipped school today.
While Orange County deputies continue knocking on doors, a detective heads.
Interesting. Okay, so they're showing clips from the neighbors. And of course, this woman is very upset because there was a child missing from her neighborhood. And she says, I thought she skipped school today. Why is the neighbor showing more emotion than Jen Soto? Okay. Why? All right, let's get to this part.
But yesterday, for some random reason, she wanted to be dropped off at the church.
I don't know if she's ever been dropped off at church before. No, she has told me.
Okay.
The unusual circumstances leave detectives scrambling for answers, and they'll soon turn to Stefan and Jennifer to fill in the blanks. As officers continue canvassing, a second night falls with no valuable leads. By now, Madeline has been missing for over 48 hours. K9 Wyatt returns for a second attempt at locating her trail. This time, beginning at Madeline's residence, where Stefan and Jennifer are waiting.
We're gonna pull one more and then we're gonna have the dog sniff it out again and see if we can get another track going.
Can I get you the last outfit you're wearing?
Has it been with other clothes and all that, like your clothes?
It got mixed in with clean clothes and dirty clothes.
Is it other people's dirty clothes or is it her dirty clothes? Is her
What about
underwear?
a pillow that she likes to sleep with?
Her underwear is
all that stuff works.
Yeah, but you slept on the pillow this morning.
Oh, that's right. I snuggled with a pillow.
They settle on using a pair of her underwear from the bathroom, and the search begins. However, Stefan's curiosity will soon create an unexpected barrier to their efforts.
I'm gonna be going like right where you guys are. Yeah. You guys can go inside if you want, because then I just don't want him trying to track you guys. Yeah. He's a pretty cute little guy. Just as long as everybody's inside. I'm not gonna go inside. I'm just gonna start at the front door. He's trying to open the door. Oh god, he opened the door. Sorry. He knows how to open doors.
After only a few minutes of searching, Stefan is seen lingering just around the corner, leading to frustration with the canine's handler.
No, sorry. He backtracks a lot, so he kind of just circles.
Yeah.
After being told that it's distracting.
Unfortunately, no critical evidence was found in the second canine search, and concerns around Madeleine's whereabouts continued to escalate. By Friday, March 1st, 5 days after she first disappeared, Madeleine is still nowhere to be found. Jennifer and
Let me go through some of your comments. V Slim says, because Jen is a sick individual, she did not care for her daughter. Hands down, it seems that she does not. Just Me said, accidentally on purpose. That is a fact, Jack. You know why? Because they thought they were being slick. They thought they were being slick. And listen, I am not going to deny the Spirit Box lady's opinion that possibly Madeleine could have been with child. I just didn't want to listen to all that. I didn't want to listen to that, okay? I didn't want to listen to it. You know, I better have some actual proof, you know, physical evidence, you know, real life evidence, something the police have said or a medical examiner. There seemed to have been what I would call a scare in the house, considering Jen Soto bought a 3-pack of pregnancy tests, and she complained to her friends that she was only getting it up the poop chute. Okay? Last I checked, unless God changed things with our anatomy, ladies, you can't get pregnant up the buns.
However, when Natalie, who lived in the house as one of Jennifer's 2 roommates, was asked if she saw the 2 of them getting ready in the morning, her answer seemed to contradict Stefan's account.
Did you see them at all Monday morning?
By the time I was leaving Monday, no, I think I was leaving too early. I leave like around 7:45. I typically don't see them.
Were you probably gone before they even got up, maybe? Okay, gotcha.
If Natalie's recollection is correct, she would likely have seen Stefan, as they both claim to have left the house at the same time. The timeline is even more muddied by a written statement to the police, in which Jennifer claims she physically saw Madeleine getting ready around 8 a.m. Confusion over the truth is compounded as her story continues to change.
Between your initial statement to the police, a lot of things have changed. The initial statement to the police was you watched her get dressed, you watched her leave, you knew exactly what she was wearing.
Can I tell you
Absolutely.
my thought process on that, or where I came from with that? I was handed this form, and I'm like, where do I start? What do I write? And somebody said, tell them what you saw. And so I started with I saw, and then I wrote out what I wrote out. But it wasn't until later I was like, wait, I didn't see her. I assumed that I saw her. I assumed that I.
Man, I tell you what, they are nicer than I am. They gave her a police report and said, write out what you have seen. I saw. She goes, and then later, I said, well, maybe I assumed I saw her. Maybe I assumed. Are you kidding me? Your daughter has disappeared. Either you put eyes on her that day or you did not. They are catching you in your lies. You got immunity for lying to them once. One time. One time, Jen. One time. One time. From there, they said, you have to tell us the truth. And as we know, all she did was skate around everything they asked. Perpetual victim, professional victim. We heard everything about the guy from the car lot that, wined her up and dined her up. If she saw her that morning, she did not see her alive. And that is forensic evidence. We know the clothing that Maddie was found in. We know the clothing she was found in. She did not see her leave in army green shorts, a hoodie, and white Crocs. You know why? Because one Croc was found in her bedroom, Jen Soto's bedroom. The other one was found in the dumpster. Maddie was found in a pair of jeans. Many people will ask, well, why on earth that girl sleep in jeans? Well, if you're used to being raped when you're trying to sleep, you kind of bundle up. I cannot say that from experience. But she made sure when Stephen was around to sleep or be in bed fully clothed.
I heard her, but I didn't. In reality, I didn't see her. I only saw him, and I heard something in the kitchen, but I don't know who that was.
Despite the inconsistencies, investigators move on to what happened after Stephen and Madeline allegedly left for school.
She was asleep in the car most of the time, just snoozing until we got there. And she wanted to be dropped off a little down the ways from the school. She's got this phase that she's been into lately where she's very particular about what car she's seen getting out of in front of the school. I get it. It's an image thing. I said, okay, let her out. Have a good day. Love you. Thanks. Love you too. And I turned around and was driving away and was watching her in my rearview mirror to make sure that she was going where she was supposed to go. And she was moving in that direction, but she was rummaging around in her backpack or something. Find out later that she forgot her phone here, so she may have been rummaging for her phone. But she was still kind of making her way towards that direction, so it looked okay. Looked like any other day.
And you said that that's typical of her to walk that distance?
Yeah, she likes the morning walks when it's cool. And she will sometimes like to hang out and wait for her friends. She's known to do that.
His statement seems to have raised suspicions with investigators, as Madeline's friend informs them that it isn't typical for her to be dropped off anywhere but in front of the school. Stephen also claims to have dropped her off between 8:20 and 8:40 a.m. But when confronted with what detectives saw on local street cameras, Stephen makes an abrupt change to his story.
So why is your car seen going southbound at 8:10? So meaning going toward Kissimmee.
Mm-hmm. I had forgotten my gate clicker. I'm sorry. I forgot. I had gone back to the house real quick after we left. I actually had to go through the front gate and use my parking pass to grab my clicker. So it was the wrong time. I'm sorry. Like I said, I was guesstimating these times. I'm not a morning person.
Okay.
So yes, we'd gone out.
How far did you get before you came back down when you realized you forgot your clicker?
Nearly all the way to the school.
So you guys came back here to get your clicker?
Correct.
So when we look at the cameras in the front, it's going to show you coming back in
Correct.
here with her in the car?
Yes, with her in the passenger seat,
Okay.
yes.
Footage from the apartment shows Stephen pulling up to the complex trash compactor at 7:35 a.m. in his silver sedan. He's wearing a red-colored shirt as he throws a trash bag inside the compactor and pulls away. A female believed to be Madeline is visible in the front passenger seat, appearing slightly slumped over. They leave and return to the apartment at 8:19 a.m., where Stefan appears to speak briefly with a security guard. Madeline still appears to be in the front passenger seat. The security guard was later interviewed, but his account burns another hole in Stefan's story.
Do you remember a resident coming through in a silver Lincoln sedan?
I do remember, but not his face. I talked to him. He showed me his little clicker, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm clicking, it's not working." And then I went and I clicked the button. He went inside, and I just remember there was a woman like sleeping beside him with a green shirt.
If Stefan already had his gate clicker, his reason for returning to the complex falls apart, leaving investigators to question what else he may have lied about. They determine the trash compactor needs a closer look and begin the process of gathering a warrant to search its contents. Meanwhile, with more questions than answers, Stefan continues to explain what happened next after he returned to the area near the church and dropped Madeline off.
What did you do after you left the area?
I left to go to the local vape shop because I needed some more vape juice. They weren't quite open yet, so I ended up going back home. Waited about an hour or so and then went back and checked the vape shop again.
Creepy, creepy, creepy. Okay, we have said on this show many, many, many times before that when someone goes missing, it's always an unusual day. Things are out of order. It's not the usual routine. Okay, hang on. What's going on here? Why are we talking about dogs? Sarah said, watch Mark Rober, How to Escape a Police Sniffer Dog. It's the only way I can explain it. I don't know what we're talking about sniffer dogs for. We're talking about Stefan Stearns and what he did to Madeline. Okay, so let's leave the dogs alone. The dogs did their job in this case. We're talking about this case right now. So, Scuzzball here, Stefan, and his side piece, Jen. I can't really throw Jen into it because there's really no evidence to that yet. But Stefan created quite the unusual day. Again, Madeline goes missing and everything is out of routine. Everything is out of routine. Everything. Stefan does not take Madeline to school, okay? He doesn't. That day he did. Why, you may ask? Well, because throughout the night, she was murdered. That is the only reason that he jumped up to take her to school. Again, we're talking about an unusual day. An unusual day. It can't be more unusual than someone in your household going missing. That's a true story. Can't. But have we noticed with all the people that go missing, particularly children, their routine is totally done. Everyone knows their routine. They know what time they get up in the morning. They know when they get their coffee. They know when they have breakfast. They know what time they have lunch. They know about what time they start making dinner. They know what time to be at work. They know if they have a doctor's appointment. We pretty much have the same routine. But the day that someone goes missing, it's all willy-nilly.
It was open, so I got what I needed there and came back.
Do you remember what time you came home?
The first time was probably right around 10, close to it. Probably finished at the vape shop and came back home again a little after 11.
Okay. You said the first time that you hung out with a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Was there when you got here at
Yes.
10? Okay.
I think so. She might have been at her blood appointment. Let me double check.
It's okay. We don't have to ask her right now.
Sorry, everything's a blur.
So she might have been here. She might have not have been here
I
the first.
believe she was here because she was sleeping in as much as she possibly could because she's been messed up within her work schedule. So she had to be here because she didn't want to sleep out.
With Stefan struggling to remember whether or not Jennifer was home when he arrived back at the apartment, investigators turned to Jennifer herself for confirmation.
When Stefan called me around 10:18 in the morning, I had stepped out to go get blood work done. And he had just let me know that he just got back home from running a few errands. I asked, did you guys ever just stop at McDonald's? And he said, no, she changed her mind. He tried convincing her a few times that she did not want McDonald's anymore.
At what time did you leave the house yesterday in the morning? Or what time did you step out, rather?
I'm going to say around 9:30.
You left around 9:30. And then Stefan called you around 10 to say he got home?
Though Stefan claims he spent time with Jennifer before leaving for the vape store a second time, Jennifer's account suggests she wasn't home until after he returned. As confusion builds over the timeline, detectives review security footage from the street cameras and...
Okay. Confusion for the timeline. Think of other cases. There's a huge confusion in the timeline. We speak often about Summer Wells. Okay? No one knows Candace's timeline. We know there was huge confusion with the timeline of the murder of Harvey Montgomery. We know there was huge confusion with the timeline of Cody Bixby. We know there was huge confusion, the timeline of Evelyn Boswell. We know there was huge confusion in the timeline of Gannon Stout. So as they're fumbling around, both of them, it should be very easy for Jen to say, I had the day off and he took her to school. Okay? Should be very easy to say. I didn't have to work that day. So Stefan took her to school. What happened after that? I don't know. But she's trying to fill in all these different things that she couldn't possibly know about because she wasn't there. Lily and Jack is another one. There's a big problem with that timeline. You have cases of true abductions and kidnappings, and the parents have no issue with their timeline. They have no issue. Sarah Ann Wood, we spoke about her about a month ago. Dad knew where he knew where he was, knew exactly the last time he saw his daughter. Mom knew where she was. We know Michael Vaughn. We know there's 4 suspects involved in his abduction. Tyler knows where he's at. Granddad knew where he was. Brandy knows where she was. I mean, if all you want to do is lay on your lazy ass, Jen, then just say, listen, I was in bed. He said he would take her to school. Don't fill in blanks and say, oh, she would be dropped off at the church because she was embarrassed of his car. Now, how would you know that unless he came back and told you? You can't tell me they weren't in on it together. She's filling in too many gaps and making too many excuses for him.
So wear the same clothes?
Oh, so you kept everything?
Try to, I guess.
Earlier surveillance footage showed him wearing a red shirt as he threw away items in the trash compactor, left the apartment complex, and returned with Madeline. However, when he's captured on camera at a smoke shop later that morning, His clothes have changed.
You weren't wearing a red shirt?
He was wearing a red shirt early in the morning. But I changed clothes later because that shirt was in a couple days with that one. And the flat tire happened after that.
After further review of security footage from the apartment complex, Stefan was seen visiting the trash compactor multiple times throughout the day. At 4:35 p.m., around the time Stefan claims he learned of Madeline's absence from school, he's seen throwing away a piece of a damaged tire. However, this wasn't the only thing Stefan discarded.
I'm too old to lie to people, too old to beat around the bush, and we seem like we're having a generally good conversation right now. Okay? The only thing that I ask for from you is, and I will reciprocate, I want you to be honest with me as much as I'm being honest with you. Okay? Nowadays, cameras are everywhere. Okay? So we see you at the guard shack. Okay? We see you go by the dumpster. Okay?
I may have taken some trash with me then.
What was in the trash?
House trash.
House trash?
Yeah.
When you for school, did she have her backpack with her?
Yes.
She did. Did she have her school computer with her?
Yes. Presumably, yes.
Presumably. Okay.
She should have.
Okay, so this is going to cause some issues in the Stearns household. People are asking what the wolf is flying around. It's Explore With Us. That's their logo that pops around. Everyone, please hit the like. Hit the like. Please. Your old buddy Brooks needs it. Your old buddy Brooks needs the help, okay? Need a little help in the old Al Gore rhythm. What do you think is going to happen when Mama Stearns finds out that instead of giving a victim's impact statement, by the way, for Mr. Boyfriend, Mr. Disney, how do you think it's going to go down in the house when she finds out that her husband, Chris, is going to actually testify against their son? He offered up a lot of information to them. A lot. He let them go through all the computers, making sure that Stefan didn't use anything in their home. He offered up their storage unit. Now, she's very protective of her son. This might be the deal breaker for them.
Once again, this goes back with the whole honesty thing. There was things in that trash bag that got thrown away that probably shouldn't have been thrown away.
Near the tire, a Hawaiian print backpack, school laptop, and one white Croc were found, all believed to belong to Madeline Soto. Stefan's story of watching Madeline walk toward the school with her belongings falls apart with this devastating discovery, prompting the detective to make a desperate plea for the truth.
Well, I can confidently tell you she did not go to school with her backpack.
How's that?
Because we found it in the trash. So, Stefan, here's what I'm asking you and pleading with you is to dig down and do some soul searching. I have kids. He's got kids. And this little girl's out there somewhere that we need to know where. And I really, really, really think you can help us.
Yeah, just confess and be done with it. They have you on camera, big boy. At this point, they have everything except for Madeline. And look at him looking down. Well, I'm confident she didn't have her backpack. How's that? Oh, okay, Mr. Dumbass. Because they found it in the dumpster. And they have you on camera thrown it away along with other items. Other items.
I mean, you want to get something off your chest. I don't know what it is, but I'm pleading with you.
I don't know. I don't.
Though Stefan continues to deny the truth, the evidence against him is mounting. Detectives are far from finished as they prepare to confront him with the jaw-dropping discovery from his cell phone, a disturbing revelation that will be nearly impossible for Stefan to deny.
What do you think was on the phone?
Text messages.
Mm-hmm.
Emails. Old stuff.
Pictures?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of pictures were on there?
Trading card pictures, lightsaber pictures, Disney pictures.
Do you have a Google account?
Yeah.
Do you save pictures to your Google account?
Sometimes.
What a douche canoe. Text messages, Disney pictures, lightsaber pictures. Do you have a Google account? Yeah. Oh, okay. They're like, look, we want to go home. I have kids. He has kids. And I really don't understand. Well, I guess I do understand if they can't find the evidence on Jen, then they can't. Because, I mean, we've seen many a trial where they dig someone out of the clink and they bring them up to trial and say, all right, you're going to be here and you're going to have to testify.
Or is it automatically? I know sometimes phones sync to a cloud and.
Yeah, I think it backs up to Google.
Mm-hmm. And then sometimes when you reset your phone and your phone updates and puts these apps back on your phone, sometimes they will put the images back on your phone.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you have
I assume so.
any pictures of you?
Probably. I mean, went to Disney, took selfies on the train. She got back from Puerto Rico and had her hair braided. We got pictures of that. All sorts of pictures. Family events.
Any other pictures that you think of?
On February 28th, 2 days after Madeline's disappearance, the digital forensics team was able to recover hundreds of images and videos from the phone and a Google Cloud account. The images date back as far as when Madeline was only 8 years old. Though few images show Stefan's face, a unique black mark on his genitals would later match those seen in the photos. More discoveries would later come from his search history, with horrifying implications.
Here's where I'm going to be brutally honest with you. There's a phone. And I'm pretty sure you know what some of those pictures are about. You're a very intelligent person. And I don't want you to discredit yourself by saying you don't know about all the pictures that are on your phone. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're such a genius, Stefan. You're such a genius that you admitted to the police that you, after you handed your phone over without coercion, that you told them that you accidentally factory resetted it. And what do they say? A picture's worth 1,000 words. All right, back to Jen.
I felt like you guys were chasing the wrong person, but you weren't.
Because you offering him a lawyer is very weird.
I know.
Her replies to the details about the severity of Madeline's assaults appear to be the final straw for the detective, as his confrontation grows more heated.
You prioritized him by offering him or telling his dad to get him a lawyer. Not what the did he do? Hey, we need to figure out what happened. No, let's protect Stefan.
I was in shock.
No, it's not shock. That is your natural instinct to protect Stefan.
I don't know why I said that.
But that's the problem. You don't know why. Does your role in her life lead this to happen? I'll be honest. Yes.
I know.
Since she was a child, since her victimization started, it occurred under your roof and you acted like it didn't exist. And knowing the victimization, knowing how ongoing it is, knowing that you saw a picture of it, not just us telling you, not me and him saying, hey, listen, I think they had a bad relationship. They showed you a picture of it and you still protected him. So how am I supposed to not think that the thought process in your mind is until she's found, Stefan can't be charged with murder? Because we both now know that you don't want him to be charged with murder because you want him to have a lawyer.
No, I don't. That was then.
He can't be charged with murder.
That was then. Everything that you guys have shown me since then and have shown me that he's
So we had to show you a picture of her dead in the car for you to finally not take his side?
Despite his theory that Madeline is deceased, they've yet to locate any sign of her remains. If their devastating theory is correct, the question remains, what motive would Stefan have to end her life?
What do you think made him stab?
I don't know. Theories, I keep hearing.
Tell me your theories, because here's the deal. We don't go home until she's found.
No, I know.
So what are your theories?
What I've heard is, what if she upset him and threatened to tell me and say that she was going to tell me and he needed to shut that down? That's the only thing.
What do you think?
I don't want to believe he killed her. But from what you guys are telling me, he must have killed her Sunday night and snuck her body out in the morning. That photo you guys showed me of her slept in the car.
You don't want to believe he killed her.
I want to believe she's still alive and that she got kidnapped, but that doesn't seem like that's the case at all.
Yeah.
I know. My brain just wants to believe something else.
Oh, that's what I want to believe. I'm not even using the paper towels you gave me because I'm just trying to cry as much as I can. I want to believe she was kidnapped and she's alive because kidnapping is much easier than what was going on right under my nose from the time she was 8 to now. Because it would have been much easier for just some random stranger just to grab her. Come on. Come on. You have to be kidding me. Oh, I just want to believe she was kidnapped. Oh, okay. Really? You really want your daughter kidnapped? You had every opportunity in the world to protect your daughter, but you would send her to room number 4 with Stefan. That's it. There might have been a pregnancy scare. There might have been we know there was some communication between Maddie and some friends saying that when she turns 13, she's moving to the woods because she doesn't want to be there anymore. There's a lot going on. A lot going on. Well, who the hell says I just want her to be kidnapped and Stefan not to have done this? Why? You were just shown all of these pictures of what he has been doing to your daughter. And you can obviously see the age progression from 8 to 13. Or I'll say 8 to 12 to be fair, because she had just turned 13. But I just won't believe that you've been kidnapped. Oh, I bet you do. Oh, I bet you do. I bet you do. I bet you're shitting bricks right now.
I don't want to believe she's still alive. She's out there.
Explain your reasoning behind those assumptions and we'll move forward day by day.
So he had access to benzos and I think Lunesta.
What are those? I'm not familiar with that.
Benzodiazepines are anxiety medications which relax you and can make you sleepy.
Okay.
And Lunesta, I think, is a sleeping medication, like for insomnia. So I don't know if it's possible he gave her something and she was drugged. In those photos that you showed me where you're saying she's dead, maybe she was drugged. But if she is dead and it was done upstairs, I could just only imagine that he choked her. I don't know how else you would kill someone and not leave a mess.
Horrifically, a search for the medication sevoflurane was discovered and
She just imagined that? She just imagined that she could have possibly been rugged and just imagined that upstairs her daughter was strangled, asphyxiated. That's the medical term. Okay. And the cause of death was certainly strangulation. I could just imagine that she was upstairs and she was choked. No. And by the way, there is no immunity for either trial for Jen Soto. She had one shot. And that one shot was, we're going to forgive you lying to us before. So this second interview we're doing means you have to tell us the truth. That's it. So on one hand, you almost want there to be a trial for the essay, what's the cool word that people use, a C-scam. Okay, that's it. She would have to sit there and look at all those pictures. And then, of course, she will be subpoenaed. She will be summoned for the murder trial. She knows, she's got a really good imagination for someone that doesn't know a damn thing.
Stefan's Google account on February 12th and 14th. It's described as a volatile anesthetic that provides hypnosis and amnesia and is most commonly used for surgical procedures. An additional search was made to determine whether or not the medication would show up in tests. Still, based on what he's seen, the detective isn't willing to entertain the idea that Madeline was merely sleeping.
We know he killed her. We know he drove out of there Monday morning. We know he discarded her backpack in the trash dumpster. We know he discarded her laptop and one shoe, right? So all her property was discarded to look like she's gone. That way he doesn't have evidence with him. But then you have all these suspicious times of when he's left and come back and he's gone here and gone there. So what do you think he was doing on all these suspicious times? He's roaming 192. What do you think? Knowing what you know now we can play You know, she said, you know that we've given you information. What do you think, knowing what you know, he was doing on 192? He was doing here, he was doing here, he was doing in Northport. What do you think?
So him leaving early in the morning and driving around aimlessly somewhere. I feel like he stashed the body at that time. When he came back and then left again. But see, it's daytime. Like, how could you move a body or move something in daytime and not be seen? But like, I feel like he went back to check to make sure he did a good job or to move the body again. I don't know.
Detectives would eventually discover what Stefan was doing in Northport, along with a shocking discovery which will be revealed later. Still, Stefan has 54 minutes of unaccounted for activity in the area of St. Cloud, 9 miles from Kissimmee. Jennifer, however, claims she has no idea what he may have been doing there on the morning of February 26th.
I didn't think he ever even knew where St. Cloud was because we've never driven down that way ever.
So you live in Kissimmee, right?
Yeah, I know, but to me, he's never had a reason to ever drive down to St. Cloud, ever.
Investigators continue to pry information from Jennifer, unaware of just how close they are to a major breakthrough.
Are you looking for a body? I'm assuming you're looking for a body. You mean your daughter? This daughter? This daughter. Madeline Soto. Madeline Soto. This one.
Now, June 16th of last year at 9:30 p.m. and 27 seconds, you texted Stefan this. Maddie's no longer sleeping with me. I can't risk it. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
She said, I have no idea. Well, you're the one that texted it. June of 2023. You said, I can't have her sleep with me anymore. I can't risk it. So how many people were abusing her? You know exactly what that means. Don't say you don't know what it means. You're a grown-ass woman.
For now, Jennifer poses a dark and twisted theory for where they might search for Madeline.
If I were him and I had to stash a body, but I would never do this. My mind would say to go to Lake Toho. There's a lot of woods there. There's a lot of gators.
Like I told you, there's going to come to a point where we will. Volusia County Sheriff's Office just found.
Now, did she think that he would take her somewhere with a lot of gators, or did she tell him to take her somewhere with a lot of gators? I know a lot of people get really upset about this alligator Alcatraz to keep very, very, very dangerous criminals there. Well, I just assume somewhere with a lot of gators. She's one of those people that thinks no body, no crime, no evidence. In my opinion.
Somebody the other day that's been missing for a long time. People get found. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's not quick, but we will find her. What you need to think about is when you find her, is there an opportunity or a chance that we are going to prove that you did not assist us to your full capability in this investigation? And if that is true, you need to think about the consequences of that. Consequences of hindering a murder investigation or a capital sexual battery investigation could be punishable up to probably the same charges, the same time in jail. I know you know that I don't believe what you're saying. I know you know that I think you prioritize Stefan, but you prioritize jail. You see what I'm saying? Like, if we come back and prove that you sat in this room and misled us, that you didn't lead us in the right direction, or that you assisted, or you acknowledged, or you knew, you're in warning from jail.
If I knew anything, I swear I would tell you.
At 4 p.m., just minutes after Jennifer's interrogation comes to a frustrating end, a call reaches detectives about a witness who claimed to see the suspect vehicle and a man fitting Stefan's description changing a tire near Hickory Tree Road, the location where Stefan disappeared from cameras in St. Cloud. The witness reveals the exact location where locked gates separate the road from an area of private property. The property owner gives police permission to enter, and horrifically, tucked inside a long expanse of bamboo trees, Madeleine's body is discovered. She's found wearing a green-colored sweatshirt and blue jeans, and her body is covered by pieces of what appeared to be hay or dry grass. The bottoms of her socks are clean, suggesting she was carried. Records would also reveal the sickening purpose of Stefan's trip to Northport while his family slept at the hotel. According to police records, at 6:34 a.m., just after arriving in Northport, Stefan attempted to log into his Google account. It was later that Chris discovered the hard drive for Stefan's computer had been removed and placed in a bin at Chris's storage facility. He handed it over to the police, where it was found to contain over 35,000 explicit images of children. In a call between Chris
of children. Of children. Okay? Children. There is quite a spider web going on here, and I still go back to James and David Cox. Okay? People call him Santa Claus. 35,000 images of children, not of a child. It is disgusting.
Chris and Stefan recorded from the jail. Stefan is confronted with the grim reality of a long future behind bars.
The penalty for the crimes you have been charged with carry a minimum 40-year sentence. So obviously we're going to be gone. We'll all be gone. We're sad about that, obviously, because there won't be anybody here for you when you come out.
Yeah, and I'll be lucky if I have another 40 years left in me either, so.
Yeah. I wish there was a way that, you and I can have a conversation, all of us could have a conversation to understand what's taken place, how this came about, how you arrived here, because it would help us better understand the situation, because we're at a loss for understanding how all this came about. I mean, we're just totally baffled.
Well, I didn't start it.
Okay. You didn't start it, but you participated in it, which is just as bad as not starting it.
Okay, so his dad became state's witness and, of course, knew he was being recorded and said, when Stefan said, well, I didn't start it. All right, is he talking about Jen or he's talking about Maddie? He doesn't specify, so I don't know. He goes, but you participated in it. So either way, when it comes down to it, I really hope he just takes a deal for the C-scam. So these pictures are not out. And I told you earlier in the show why I don't think it's a good idea. Nope, I don't work there. No, and I don't want to see him. No. But when his dad said, well, you may not have started it, but you participated in it. And he participated in a whole fucking lot. Let me tell you something right now. When Jen is sitting there going, I just thought she's going to be somewhere. You're looking for a body? She can't even say, where's my daughter? Where's my daughter? I don't care about his ass. I don't care about him. I don't care about him. I don't care about him. Throw him to the Gators. I want my daughter. find my daughter. I just want to believe she was kidnapped. This bitch is evil. Anita said, I have a question. Say he takes a plea deal for SA. Will he still be in PC or be placed in Gen Pop? I don't know. I have no idea. I just hope he pleads guilty to this because there's zero defense. And there's no reason putting these jurors through it. There's no reason. The judge has already had to see him. 35,000 images. You've already got all these other agencies working on these 35,000 images of children, more than one. And then get to the murder trial. Jen was only upset about her and Mr. Boyfriend having a wedge between them. And in Jen's mind, that wedge was her daughter, Madeline. All right, you guys, that's enough true crime today. I'm actually working on a video. I should have it out like around 2 o'clock today. So please set your reminders because you guys are always on the edge of your seats when I'm doing videos. Thank you so much, Sophia, for the gifting the Crime Lines and Lies membership. We have so many longtime people in here. Look at this. Harley Davidson's a new member. Well, I'm back. Sophia, Connie Branch, Cat OG, Connie Branch, Pat K. Hey, it's Pat K. Sophia, you guys are the absolute best. Thank you, moderators. Thank you to everyone who's here. Great live and shit. Love it. And I'm back with a video this afternoon. Probably isn't going to satisfy everyone's palate, but it's been really itching my nerves. And then if you missed the video today, then I'll see you back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. You guys are the absolute best. Love you to pieces.